Mama, it smells so good in here. What are you making?
Just some tea and mandazis. Sit down, let me serve you. Lisa, my daughter, you look good. You're glowing. But tell me, when are you bringing me a son-in-law? When will I see my grandchildren? Or are you planning to make me the last grandmother in this village?
Mama, relax. God's time is the best.
God's time. That's what you've been saying for years, my daughter. You are now 34. Time is moving, and you are not getting any younger. Tell me, is there no man in your life?
Mama, I won't just marry anyone. The man I marry has to be the one. I can't just settle.
Okay, and who exactly is the one?
Mama, my husband has to be God-fearing, rich, tall, handsome, well-educated, drives a big car, and, of course, he should have his own house in a good neighborhood. He should also be a businessman, no salary earners, please. I want a man who has financial freedom.
Is that all? Or should he also be walking on water like Jesus?
Mama, don't joke. I'm serious. Also, he should have never been in a relationship before. I don't want a man with baggage.
My daughter, are you hearing yourself?
Mama, what do you mean? I have standards. I won't just accept any man who comes my way.
Lisa, let me tell you something, and listen carefully. I will not sugarcoat the truth. Lisa, I want you to listen to me very carefully. What I am about to tell you is the truth. I will not sugarcoat anything. I will not hide anything. You need to hear this, and I need you to open your heart and listen with understanding. Today, many women are single not because they lack options, not because men are scarce, but because they have been misled by the world. Society has twisted the truth. Social media has fed them lies. Their own decisions have placed them where they are today. And Lisa, if you do not open your eyes now, you too might fall into the same trap. Let me start with this dangerous mindset that many women have, that a man must have money before they consider him. Lisa, where did this idea come from? Who told you that a man must be rich before he is worthy of marriage? When did we stop looking at a man's character and start looking at his bank account instead? This is why many women today end up in relationships with wababas, older men who can provide the money and lifestyle they desire. But let me tell you the truth, these men will use you for their pleasure and discard you when they are done. And what happens then? Time is wasted, youth is wasted, emotions are wasted, and the same women who rejected good men now find themselves full of regret. Lisa, let's go to the Bible. Look at Ruth and Boaz. Boaz was not the richest man in Bethlehem. But he was hardworking, he was responsible, and above all, he feared God. Ruth did not reject him because he was not a billionaire. She did not say, "Let me wait for a man with a chariot and a palace." No, she recognized a good man when she saw one. And because of her wisdom, she became the wife of Boaz, and her story became a legacy. But today's women do not want a Boaz. They want a man who already has a big house, a luxury car, and an account full of money. They want to start life at the finish line, forgetting that wealth is built, not inherited overnight. They reject men who are still growing, who are still working hard to make a future. They say, "He is not my type, he cannot afford my lifestyle, he is not at my level." And yet, years later, these same women see those men succeeding with other women who supported them, and then they start regretting. Lisa, another dangerous thing that is keeping many women single today is social media and comparison. I want you to hear me very well. Social media is a thief of contentment. Today, young women spend hours on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, looking at pictures of so-called power couples. They see a woman posting expensive vacations, a man buying his wife a car, and they start thinking, this is the kind of man I want. But Lisa, what they do not see is the reality behind those pictures. They do not see the struggles, the sacrifices, the hard times that couple went through. They do not see the private battles. All they see is the filtered, edited version of a relationship that looks perfect. Answer: instead of focusing on what truly matters, character, love, and partnership, many women are chasing illusions. They want the Instagram husband, the TikTok boyfriend, and because of that, they reject real, godly men who do not fit into that fantasy. Then, there is pride and unrealistic expectations. Lisa, let me ask you, why do many women today reject good men? They say, he is too short, He does not dress well, he does not have the right job, he is not romantic enough. But my question is, do these things build a marriage? A man can be tall, handsome, and fashionable, but if he has no values, that beauty will mean nothing when challenges come. A man can take you on fancy dates, write you love letters, and shower you with gifts, but if he has no foundation in Christ, your marriage will be like a house built on sand. It will collapse. Look at David. He was not a perfect man, but he had a heart that loved God. Look at Abraham. He was not born with riches, but through his faith, he became the father of nations. Look at Moses. He was not eloquent, but he was chosen to lead. What made these men great was not their looks, their wealth, or their social status. It was their purpose, their faith, their wisdom. But today, many women are focused on the wrong things. Lisa, let me tell you another bitter truth: time does not wait for anyone. Many women waste the youthful years rejecting good men, chasing fantasies, playing games, and by the time they realize it, they're in their late 30s or 40s, looking for a husband, but the options are no longer the same. Then, they start blaming God, saying, "Where are the good men?" But the truth is, the good men came, they just did not recognize them. However, I also want to be fair. Not every single woman today is single because of bad choices. Some have been genuinely waiting on God. Some have chosen to focus on their purpose first. Some have refused to settle for less. And to those women, I say, do not be discouraged. God's timing is perfect. It is better to wait for the right man than to rush into a marriage that will bring you pain. Marriage is not a race. It is a calling. Some people enter it early, some later, and some never. And that is okay. But whether you are waiting or not, one thing is clear: women must be wise. Stop chasing the wrong things. Stop letting society define what a good man looks like. Stop letting social media pressure you into making foolish decisions. Focus on what truly matters: a man who fears God, a man with vision, a man with integrity. Lisa, my daughter, the reason I am telling you all this is because I love you. I do not want you to make the mistakes that many women have made. I do not want you to wake up one day full of regret. I want you to be wise. I want you to understand that marriage is not about status, money, or looks. It is about two people who love God, love each other, and are willing to build together. That is what truly matters.
Have I really been the one blocking my own blessings? Have I been chasing fantasies instead of reality? I have turned down good men because they didn't drive a fancy car, because they didn't have six figures in their bank accounts, because they weren't tall enough. But where has that left me? 34, single, and still waiting for a man who doesn't exist. Mama, I think I've been living in a fantasy world. I've rejected men for the most superficial reasons. I thought I deserved a perfect man, but maybe I was being foolish.
Acceptance is the first step to change, my daughter.
Mama, do you think it's too late for me?
With God, it's never too late. But you must be willing to change your mindset and open your heart to real love, not just Instagram love.
You know, if someone had told me a few hours ago that I had been blocking my own blessings, I would have argued. I would have said, no, I'm just waiting on God's best. But today, I realized something. I have turned down so many good, God-fearing men because of unrealistic expectations. Not because they weren't kind or loving. Not because they didn't have a heart for God. No, but because I was so fixated on worldly standards that I couldn't see their true worth. The kind of expectations we have these days are crazy. I used to say, he must be at least 6 feet tall. Because apparently, shorter men don't make good husbands. He must have a 6-figure salary. As if financial stability means he'll be a faithful, God-fearing husband. He must drive a nice car. As if material things define his ability to lead a family in Christ. He must be a perfect prayer warrior but also look like a model. How ironic. And you know what's funny? Some of these same expectations are why many of us are still single. We keep saying, I'm waiting on God, but in reality, we are rejecting God's answers simply because they don't come in the package we expected. My mother said something today that really shook me. She said marriage is not just about love and romance, it is about fulfilling God's purpose. And that's the truth. Marriage was never just about you. It was never just about me. It was designed to glorify God. To bring two people together to fulfill a kingdom assignment, and yet, we let social media define our standards. We scroll through TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, seeing these so-called power couples who make relationships look perfect. And we start believing that if our love story isn't like that, then it's not good enough. Let me tell you something. Social media is a lie. The reality behind those perfect pictures. Some of those couples are in toxic relationships. Some of them are together for show. Some are even faking happiness. And yet, here we are, rejecting real, God-sent relationships because they don't look Instagram perfect. But I get it now. A good man is not defined by his bank account. A good man is not defined by how tall he is or whether he has a mansion. A good man is one who fears God, one who respects and honors his wife, one who will lead his home in truth. So today, I choose to let go of unnecessary expectations. I choose to stop looking for a man that fits a perfect checklist, and instead ask God for a man who fits his will for my life. And to you, my sister watching this, ask yourself, are you single because you're waiting on God? Or are you single because you keep rejecting what God has already given you? I know this message is hard to hear. Trust me, it's hard for me too. But sometimes, we need the truth to set us free. I hope this message has spoken to you. If it has, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, a sister, anyone who needs to hear it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep having these real conversations, because it's time we stop letting the world define our standards and start letting God lead us to the right partner. Until next time, stay blessed.